Did y'all like the BET Awards? Anyway, I took notes, so let's talk about them. Now, unless you're new here, you know that I review the BET Awards every single year. I'm a culture journalist. I love all things Black culture. And this is one of the few Black-centered things in entertainment that we have. So I'm going to tune in every single year no matter what. But let's get into it. So T.I. opened the awards. I thought that his performance was very good. I thought it was creative. I liked the little section with the hats. What I will say is having him be the opener was an interesting choice because I just don't know if I feel like he had a big enough year that warranted him being the opener. Drewski as host. This is the best decision that they've made in years, okay? As a Gen Z, I think that the awards are clearly pivoting towards Gen Z and millennials, and he was a phenomenal choice. I thought all of the bits were funny. When Alandria walked in, he said, "Get 5 shit a seat." I was cracking up. I often feel like at the BET Awards, the host will make a lot of jokes and they just won't land, but I feel like every single one of Drewski's jokes landed at home and with the audience. Leon Thomas won Best R&B/Pop Male, and I could not agree with this more. He's had a huge year. Mutt is still in rotation. His album is one of the best R&B albums that's come out in like the last year and a half, so very good choice on their end. I think that Kehlani using Jamie Foxx to open, very tea. I love Jamie Foxx, so I'm always going to be partial to him. What I love about Kehlani is that because she's a true musician, she is always finding ways to make Folded feel different, feel elevated, feel more grand. I would say that this is like the most opulent, I would use that word, performance of Folded yet. And she just keeps outdoing herself because it can get tiring, not just for the audience, but for an artist to keep singing the same song, but she keeps making it interesting and compelling. I'm not a huge Don Toliver fan, but I did feel like his performance was very creative. I thought the costumes were interesting, the black and white, the space board or whatever they had, like it was very technological and I thought that was very fun. K1 was featured in like the emerging artist segment, and I feel like this was a great choice. She's definitely one of the most prominent rising stars in R&B. I love her music, and I was very glad to see her get like an official US debut. I like Ray, and I think that this was a very, very solid performance. She's clearly a great singer. Did the performance maybe feel a little bit out of place? Sure. But what I will say is at first I thought she wasn't connecting with the audience, but then they was on their feet. So I said, maybe I misread the situation. But I do think she's clearly trying to get more into Black spaces because as of right now, I would classify her as like an Adele. She's very much so mainstream, but I think that when you're Black, even she's mixed, but you know what I mean? You want to connect with your people. And I think that this is her and her team trying to make her connect more with Black American audiences. Kehlani won Best Female R&B/Pop Artist, and I agree with the win. She's had a huge year. Folded's been everywhere. She won the Grammys. No complaints there. What I will say is this category, and quite frankly, all of the awards, all of those artists do not belong in the same category. Y'all are putting pop, jazz, R&B. There needs to be a revamp of these categories, and I've been saying it for years because some of these people do not belong in the same category. I'm sorry. Tiana won Icon of the Year. I don't know if this was an addition this year or last year, but I do think like Entertainer of the Year is a good addition to the show. And Tiana being tore up about Janet Jackson, literally all I could say was same girl. Girl, that's Janet motherfucking Jackson. I would have been in there crying like that too and carrying on. Living legend, Janet? Yeah, I would have did the same girl. I thought her speech was great. I thought she looked great. I loved that dress. Her glasses were fab. Like, I love Tiana. No, 10's always for me. Back to Drewski hosting. I thought this moment between him and Kiki was hilarious. And honestly, Kiki should be hosting next year. They just announced that she is going to be on the BET board. They need to make her host. This was great. Maybe he should do it again. But Kiki should absolutely be hosting within the next few years because, like, we love her as a host. Let me say this. One thing about Belcalis Almanzar, she's going to give us a show. I thought that the sport cars, the dancers, the hair, and she's just, am I the drama? She is the drama, but like in the best way. I thought this was such a fun performance. Listen, I love hip hop just like the next person, but we absolutely could have passed on this performance. I want Def on him, sure. That song between him and Rick Ross, is that a new song that just came out? I never heard that song. And who did Max B pay? Why is he at the BET? Like, I understand people go, oh, he's an icon, sure. But like, BET Awards, like, I have very mixed feelings about Young Miami, but one thing I will say, she absolutely has the song of the summer. The way that they sang her hit when all she was there to do was present just confirms that, okay? And I don't know why she didn't perform. That was a miss to me. She could have replaced the French Montana performance, quite frankly. Doechii and SZA won the BET Her Award for Girl Get Up. And I think that song is such a like black woman anthem that I think that was like well deserved. Also, them ready to get buck with the saxophone being like, is you cool? And then SZA realizing, oh, at the end it was a bit, like that was hilarious. Don't jump me. I'm not a huge fan of Tems. She's cool. She's just not my cup of tea. However, this performance, she sounded phenomenal. I think that she's been working with a vocal coach because she was not sounding this good a few years ago. Say what you want to. I thought that the white, she looked gorgeous. The background singers, they ate this one bad. They were good all night, but this one especially. And I want to give a huge shout out to Adam Blackstone, who did all of the music for the night, because everybody was on the money. Cardi won Best Female Hip Hop Artist. And again, I have written down, the categories have to get smaller. Why are we nominating every single rap artist that put out an album last year? Like, at some point, there has to be who is the best. Not everybody gets a nom. You know what I mean? Baby Keem performed the song he has with Momo Bird. And I thought that this performance was fun and creative. I definitely feel like he's one to watch because I feel like he's having a slow rise. You know what I mean? Erica Campbell and Leandria did like the tribute section. Let me say this. We could have left Clive Davis off. Number one, because he's white. Number two, because he didn't treat Whitney well. In terms of the actual tribute, I thought it was great. Leandria came out and immediately even elevated the space even more. And I want to also say again to Adam Blackstone, that arrangement of Total Praise, you ate that really, really bad, sir. Now on to the D'Angelo tribute. Whoever thought of the idea of having a live performance of D'Angelo and allowing the audience to sing with him, you ate that. 10s across the board. The tribute kicked off with Ari Lennox doing Really Love. I feel like Ari has a very bright, forward-sounding voice, and Really Love suited that extremely well. Ray did Spanish Joint. Let me say this, that was the better performance from her last night. Spanish Joint suits her jazzy voice and her like fun vocal stylings extremely well. And Duran ended it with Shit Damn MFR. I screamed at my TV. Duran sounded so good, and his voice is always so healthy. He puts on a show. I just love him. Yeah. Also, doing the tribute with the Vanguard, which was D'Angelo's band, phenomenal choice. I feel like this was a very, very good tribute. This could have went wrong, but it went right. Sylvia Rhone won like the Living Legend Award or something like that. I thought this was a great choice, and I also want to give her a huge shout out for calling out the AI in the music industry, because not enough of us are talking about this, especially because the AI artists are always black. Talk about it, Miss Sylvia, please. Lastly was the Lauryn Hill tribute. I felt like this was very good, but the first thing that I have written down is we are in an auto-tuned mic epidemic. Nobody's mics are on. Everybody has a filter or something in their mic, and we have to stop this. The rest of the lineup was packed. You had Lizzo, you had Tems, you had Queen Latifah, Common, Alexia J, who is her protege. Shout out to her because there was no auto-tune in her mic and she ate down. And also shout out to Doja Cat because she didn't use any either. But very full tribute. Starting off the tribute with the woman that she was in Sister Act with singing Eye on the Sparrow. Great choice. And having all her kids come out too, that was so like sweet and sentimental. Like, it was fun to watch. Overall, great performances, great host. The only thing I want to say is that every time we do the BET Awards, the host always disappears in the second half. And I just feel like they need to do something so that that doesn't happen. But what did y'all think of the awards? Because I was entertained.